friends, welcome back to Writers Workshop. I hope you had fun making your cover yesterday, thinking of that fiction idea like Harold and the Purple Crayon did with his imagination. Did you think of a title for your story? If not, go ahead and pause the video and finish up that part first, okay? You need a title to your story, and don't forget to put your author name on the front, which is you. When you're done with that, come on back and we're going to get started. All right, I hope you have everything ready to go and your tools all ready to go. We're going to talk a little bit today about a writing list. And authors, which is you're an author, use a list to make sure that they are doing everything they need to do in their writing so the reader can read it. Okay, so boys and girls, this is our writing list, and you're going to see me come back to this writing list a few times. The first thing on the list says I can use capital letters to start my sentence and for important words. So if I were to start a sentence, this is the word the, I would make sure that that first letter is capitalized, okay? So I would make sure that I'm using a capital T for the word the. Other words that are capitalized are important words like your name. Okay, when we write mom or dad, we're going to capitalize their name. When we would write our pets' names or our brothers and sisters' names, all names start with capital letters. So that's one example of important words. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we write our words neatly, okay? So it says here, I can write my words neatly on the lines. Well, in our book that we're writing today, we don't have lines in our book. That's okay. You can draw a line if you want to. I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute, but you don't have to. So that's a choice, okay? So that's something that you don't have to do right now. The next thing we're going to talk about is putting finger spaces between your words. And you're probably thinking, but Mrs. Burlick, why do we do that? Does anybody know why do we put finger spaces between our words? When I look at my book, Harold and the Purple Crayon, I can see that the author put spaces between all of the words. And if the author didn't do that, I wouldn't have been able to read that book to you. So we put spaces between our words to help the reader read the book. Okay, so we're going to practice that. This says, I see the dog. So you can see there's a finger space between each word. Okay, the last one says, I can put punctuation at the end of my sentence. This has a question mark because it's a question. It says, do you like me? That's a question. So there's a question mark at the end. If the sentence says, I like you, there would be a period at the end. And we're going to talk about the exclamation mark another day. Okay? So these are just some of the things on our checklist that we're going to be checking over when we're done with our book this week. So go ahead and grab your book that you started yesterday. I went ahead and worked on my cover, just like your job was to work on your cover. I worked on my cover too. Okay? Remember, the title of the book is Our Ocean Trip. And who's the author? I'm the author. So I put my name on the bottom. And this picture has to match my title, right? So that's just something that was in my imagination. I packed up the car, put the suitcases on top, and I thought it'd be really fun if we saw a whale on our family trip to the ocean. Okay? So remember, this is a fiction story. You do whatever you want to do for your story. You're using all things in your imagination. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open it up to my first page. Now, do you remember the first page of our story is called the beginning. This is the beginning of my story. So I have to think, what happened first in my story? Well, let me think. I'm thinking we probably packed up the car, and then we drove to an ocean, and we drove right in and got started on our vacation. So I'd like to use my new words that I used last week. Remember your new words? I and a. So I'm going to write a sentence that uses both of my new words, okay? I'm going to write a sentence that says, I went on a trip to the ocean. Now remember I told you if you want to, boys and girls, you can add lines to your paper, but you don't have to, okay? I can also just kind of use my eyes. I can put my sentence at the top or my sentence at the bottom. I'll leave it up to you. If it makes you feel better to add a line, to write on a line, you can try it this week. I'm going to go ahead and start with my capital letter. I. There's my new word. And then remember, we're going to put finger spaces between our words. Went. Finger spaces again. On. Finger spaces again. A. There's my other new word. Now I'm out of room. What do I do? Well, I can't really write over here or the words won't be in my book. So I'm going to drop down and come under that very first word. I'm going to go back and reread so I remember what's next. I went on a trip. Finger space, to, finger space again, the, and last finger space, ocean. And remember we talked about, what's that last thing on our checklist? Punctuation. So let's reread it first. Will you help me? I went on a trip to the ocean. I need to add my period, right? I wouldn't put a question mark because it's not a question. All right, there's my sentence. What I'm going to do is think about my checklist. Did I use a capital letter at the beginning of my sentence? I did. Did I put finger spaces between my words? I did. And did I add punctuation? Yes. So my first sentence is done. This is the beginning. This is page 1 of my book. If you want to, go ahead and put a number 1 at the bottom of your page. Okay? After the beginning comes the middle. That's what we'll be writing tomorrow, friends. So take your time, add a pretty picture to your sentence. Remember, friends, you're not writing the same thing that Mrs. Burlick is writing. You're using your own imagination like Harold the Crayon. Okay? So join me tomorrow as we work on the middle of our story. Have fun with your beginning today, friends.